Hello, welcome to this update for parts of the Eastern Pacific for Tropical Storm Dalila, and also we'll talk some of on the Western Pacific. So stay tuned. Here, the show Tropical Storm Dalila very close to to Western Mexico, and there's this other area of investigation to a 30% array. So let's see what's happening to Tropical Storm Delilah. So there's a huge wind field with this extending all the way to parts of western Mexico. There's this tropical storm warnings in the coast of western Mexico since yesterday or before yesterday. So be careful there. There are some tropical storm conditions already happening in those areas since yesterday, especially on those central western coasts of Mexico. So please, I hope you're being careful there. And let's see here. This does have it as a tropical storm until like Sunday, but later the colder water and wind shear will weaken it. So let's see, there's the rainfall potential. Does show close to 100 millimeters locally, spots of Guerrero into the coast of Michoacan de Campo, and also some other spots in Oaxaca, close to 50 to 100 millimeters, but especially those areas in Guerrero and those areas. So please be careful. There, the rainfall does show the tropical storm force winds probabilities, and it's nearly to 100% near the coast of western Mexico, and this is happening like right now. Uh, so please be careful if you're watching this and stay safe in these areas further north where it's still going to affect you. So be careful. Tropical storm force winds, there's the 50 knot wind probabilities just in the ocean, and hurricane force winds, nothing. So be careful and what just happened here. So yeah, so stay safe. There's some key messages to watch here as well. So the outer bands of tropical storm Dalila bring locally heavy rainfall to Mexican states of Guerrero, Michoacan, and Colima through Sunday morning. Scared areas of flooding and mudslides are expected, especially along areas steep terrain near the coast. Dalila is expected to produce tropical storm force winds across parts of the warning area tonight and Saturday. So tonight means Friday, was issued yesterday. So and Saturday today, right now. So stay safe in those areas. Be careful. Kind of sorry for the late video. So but I hope you are staying safe because this is already happening. Let's see it in Spanish. More importantly for them there as well. So let's see. Las bandas exteriores de la tormenta tropical de Lala traerán fuertes lluvias localmente a los estados mexicanos de Guerrero, Michoacán, Colima. Hasta el domingo por la mañana se esperan unas áreas dispersas de inundaciones, deslizamientos de tierra, especialmente en áreas de terreno empinado cerca de la costa. Se espera que Dalila produzca vientos de fuerza de tormenta tropical a través de porciones del aviso esta noche y el sábado, principalmente hoy sábado en estas zonas, y más de 100 milímetros de lluvia en unas zonas en Guerrero y Michoacán. Precauciones. So stay safe in those areas. Here's the wind history, the tropical storm force winds. And there's this interesting map here for rip currents too. So this is like currently right now. This changes all the time. But does show spots of the east coast in the US to watch for some moderate risk of rip currents. Puerto Rico, but especially like spots of California, there's this high risk of rip currents because of those winds in the Pacific. But this only shows for the US. But if it had a thing for Mexico, I bet this whole area of the coast would be red. So especially this storm so close by and tropical storm force winds nearly on the coast, there might be very high risk of rip currents in those areas western Mexico. So stay safe too. There's tomorrow shows a higher danger near the Atlantic coast, North Carolina, spots of Florida too. The rip currents is still in California. So stay safe in those areas. This is today and tomorrow. So be careful, and especially those areas, those areas in Mexico there. So stay safe. And here does show like they had a tropical storm watch near further north in Mexico, but I think they just extended out your tropical storm warning in those areas western Mexico. So stay safe. Please be careful. You can see here the tropical storm. It's trying to strengthen a little bit those bands of thunderstorms, some high winds detected, but we'll see because down the road it will weaken because of those the colder water. So let's see. So here is what I was talking about, that small stretch of tropical storm watch there. But the updated here is already to tropical storm warning in all of those areas there. So stay safe, be careful, and this won't make landfall. You just go out to sea there. Most of the models just go out to sea, and all of the GFS as well, and the Canadian too. It just goes out to sea and weakens there. So it's tropical storm now, and does weaken a lot after Monday. Sunday, Monday will weaken. So be aware in those areas. And yeah, so stay safe, especially the rain and everything. And then there's the Western Pacific we'll talk about soon. So for Mexico, that shows Sawingas, those areas, the tropical storm force winds. Maybe these aren't the best models to show the exact wingas, but they will work somewhat. So the European that does have to carry progress some spots of the coast of Mexico there. The GFS is more in the ocean there, but I don't trust this too much because you just saw there the wind field goes all the way to Mexico. So, but the icon does have spots of Mexico more than 75 carrier paragraphs in some spots, and and even more. But stay safe in those areas, especially in case these winds increase down the coast, because there's some section of the coast, like I showed you, more than 90% chance of tropical storm force winds. So stay safe, especially the rip current, like the rough surf, especially the rough surf. So be careful those winds. This goes and like it does get closer to Guerrero and those areas, and Michoacan does show the European like these evening spots of the coast close to a camera parkas. So stay safe, and the icon the GFS is sort of somewhere else, but yes, stay safe. Those areas, there's the rain here does show those spots there where the storm is near to 126 millimeters, some areas, in other spots to 117. So stay safe, and further down the coast to 115 as well, 118. So be careful in those areas. Also shows more spots central Mexico there. Like northern Mexico is dry and very hot, but these areas of central Mexico, even closer to the Gulf, shows like some 171 millimeters more spots there. So there might be some flooding danger in those areas. Be aware, especially like later next week, because this year's until Monday shows us a few spots in the coast where the tropical storm is now, more than 100 millimeters. But if I put it until next Thursday, the 19th, already increases a lot in the southern coast there of Mexico to 207 near Central America. So this probably from the moisture with the next system coming, the one at 30% chance there. So please be aware, and then shows like this moisture just goes into Mexico from the Pacific there, and might affect more inland portions as well into central eastern Mexico near the Gulf too. So be careful in those areas, especially some flooding in some spots there. The GFS barely has that much in eastern Mexico, just some spots to 86 millimeters, and the Europeans to 125. So the Europeans much more than the GFS, but the icon is kind of interesting. There's have this area in the Gulf, like this goes and into eastern Mexico there later next week. So it does have a lot of moisture and isolated spots to more than 100 millimeters in a few spots of central Mexico, even to 92 in Mexico City next 5 days. But the Europeans just 45 in Mexico City. So it's hard for these models to find the exact values because each one shows one thing, but just be careful. And if it's like 45 or 92, in either way there will be strong showers and storms to pass in those areas, so be careful. And that show Guatemala slightly less than Mexico, but already shows to like some 87 millimeter spots in Belize to 164, more southern Mexico to 135. So stay safe. The GFS is more in Central America to El Salvador. The GFS like to 200 for in El Salvador. The European just 91 in El Salvador. But it does have in Guatemala more than 170 the European. So like 173. The GFS in Guatemala is to like 262 in a few spots in Honduras. The European Honduras to 107 and to some 129 in some areas. The icons is closer to the coast, about like 195 in spots in Nicaragua, other spots to 146, 150. So be careful in those areas in Costa Rica, somewhere as well, and into southern Honduras and El Salvador, there should be stronger storms too. So stay safe in those areas with flooding and everything, especially Central America, more spots there. So stay safe. And yeah, the Dominican Republic, a shower or two in Cuba, thunderstorm or two this afternoon, and a shower or two in the Caribbean next 24 hours. So this is just until Sunday, this high resolution model. But, but 5 days, the European does show eventually some more rain in Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, some 28 millimeters, and a few more showers next 5 days. So be aware those areas, some passing showers and storms next week. Cuba, Jamaica, nothing too crazy, but a few thunderstorms from time to time and some showers too. And same thing for southern Florida. It shows Hispaniola, some more, and that shows southern Caribbean, a few passing showers, a thunderstorm or two, but nothing too heavy. The GFS is also the eastern Caribbean, a few showers and storms. It does have some more in Cuba, a few spots in Hispaniola, but nothing of big concern, just some passing showers and storms. But always be careful in the case of thunderstorms. So be aware, but especially Central America should be watched closely for some heavy rain. And let's see. So be careful in those areas. Long range, like next 14 days, does show a lot more moisture, like Mexico to Central America, many areas. But this is like 14 days is too much. So don't worry about that yet. Just be careful right now on the next 5 days with this heavy rain. So stay safe. You can see the storm on satellite here. Some big towers of thunderstorm spots of the Pacific in this tropical storm. A few stronger ones near the coast, a few storms as well. So stay safe. And there are some small shock waves in the eastern Atlantic, but they are too far south and it's not favorable right now. So still quiet in those areas, but we'll keep watching. But for now, still quiet and kind of dusty as well. Like especially in the Cabo Verde, be careful of the dust. Spots of the Eastern Caribbean, and all the way to Florida, some dust. So Saturday, Sunday, maybe by Monday, some more dust continues in the Caribbean there. So be careful in those areas and stay safe. So yeah, let's see if the European model has anything for tropical storm probabilities. So it does show the storm in the Eastern Pacific now, and then by the 18th, it does show some 10% to like some 20% chance of something forming in the Eastern Pacific again. On the 19th, the 20th does increase to like 30 to 40% later by June 21st, still in the Eastern Pacific, and thus branching to the Gulf like a small 5%, but mainly in the Eastern Pacific there. So there's like the tropical depression probability as well, shows those areas right now a lot, and shows even already to 80% by next Wednesday, the 18th, that next system, the Eastern Pacific, and then stays at some 8% until the 20th, and branches like some 20% into the Gulf on the 22nd. But yeah, nothing too crazy, but in general, it's still kind of quiet there in the Atlantic. So we'll keep watching, and the latest indication still shows like the beginning of July might be kind of quiet unless we manage to get something in the southwestern Gulf or something. But for now, still quiet. So let's see something here for tropics, like if they have something. So this is issued every Tuesday, and you update next Tuesday. But they did have a small 20% in the southwestern Gulf for week 2, so June 18th to 24th. That's next week. And later, still in the Eastern Pacific, but even some below average rain in the Atlantic. So still the Western Pacific, but still kind of quiet there. But we do have to watch this small fragment in the Gulf there to Central America. But for now, it's quiet. So be aware those areas. There's now this tropical storm Wutip near China there. It was a typhoon for a brief moment, so that there were some instances of typhoon force winds there, but it made landfall in Hainan and already weakened to a tropical storm. But they still have as a typhoon here because it did reach some typhoon strength. So here does show like the radar, especially there in China. So it's already made landfall. You can see the rain bands around southern China. So it already made landfall, but this is going like that was 1 hour ago. But now shows the center of the storm over southern China, and then some more storms to the north of it. And there, besides that, there are more storms through central China. Should be careful as well. So be aware there's a lot of rain in Japan in a few portions and storms in India. But this storm, still be careful there because there's still some very strong winds southern China in those areas, and likely flooding, especially flooding the heavy rainfall. So stay safe. But this did reach some typhoon strength and already made landfall there. So let's see. Shows the storm there. This continues for central southeastern China and likely to affect storms in South Korea later by Monday, and a thing or two in Japan. So be aware. Those areas does show 5 days. These areas of southeastern China to 200 millimeters in a few spots. The icons like choose some other spots to 200 to 230. The GFS is kind of scared as well. So be careful in those areas, and further into eastern China to 90 millimeters to 111, and more spots southeastern China into northern Vietnam, especially northern Vietnam, that moisture there to 218 millimeters. But be careful, like right now, the remnants of these typhoon spots of southern China. So shows more there to 120 millimeters, more spots to 205. So stay safe, and there are some bigger cities in the middle of this rain as well. So be careful, some urban flooding and more scared thunderstorms in other areas. So stay safe, and yeah, especially the icons even to 162 meters in Hong Kong and more spots along the coast. The GFS like to some 120, 110 in Hong Kong, and the GFS, the worst, is around Wushou and further north to 200 meters. So stay safe in those areas. There's still some tropical storm force winds happening. So mainly on the northeastern side of the storm, choose some 85 km per hour, slightly stronger by Sunday in Hong Kong, some 60 to 70 km per hour. This goal spreads throughout spots of eastern China, Sunday into Monday, some higher gusts central eastern China, Sunday, and this continues stronger on the east coast, even to 100 km per hour, goes towards Japan, likely Monday, some higher gusts in Japan. And the icon has a similar thing there as well, just the GFS is kind of different, more scared. But yeah, be careful in those areas. Stay safe spots central to northern China as well. Mongolia, some instances of some high gusts. But yeah, stay safe. The Arabian Sea, some high gusts in the ocean. Those wind gusts are really picking up there in the ocean. So be careful with shipping and everything. But especially these rainfall totals shows the coast of India still to 200 to 400 meters, 300 along the coast, more spots to 3 to 200, Mumbai even to 262. So please stay safe in those areas, even for the northwestern India, more than 100. So this is very serious, especially like the possibility of mudslides and landslides as well, and also like just some very dangerous flooding. If there are any rivers, be careful with river flooding, especially some urban flooding. Don't drive through floods. Stay safe. Some 400 meters, many spots. The icon 200 to 300 on the icon. The GFS is some spots to like 3 to 400 meters, even 450 in the GFS. So please stay safe with flooding spots of India. And also Myanmar and northeastern India to 200 to 300 meters, a few spots northernmost Myanmar, even to 400 spots in Myanmar, shows more spots to 397, northern Bangladesh to 200 meters, some 239 Myanmar, southern Myanmar the GFS is even to like 465, and the coast of Myanmar as well. So be careful with flooding in this whole area here. So stay safe in those areas in Nepal as well. More spots northeastern India to Bangladesh. So stay safe in the flooding and be careful in the long range. No more significant systems expected in the Western Pacific, just more strong showers and storms. The GFS does try to fire a tropical storm in the middle of nowhere in the Western Pacific, but it doesn't do much. And then this goes and still watching later. The European still has like shows the storm in China now. This goes and like it doesn't have much else later. Just the Philippines, more showers and storms, and spots of Southeast Asia. So be aware and be careful those low pressure systems in China. The European on the 26 is showing some interesting things, but that's still kind of far out. So be aware those areas and like stay safe too, just to see if the models have picked up anything in the Gulf, but I don't think so. There's like the GFS, it it's not even showing anything else anymore, just trying in the Eastern Pacific. There's the icon, shows like this goes, it does form another storm in the Eastern Pacific, and it has this moisture in the Gulf, but it doesn't form it into anything. So there's the European tries to form the other one near southern Mexico next week, but still nothing in the Atlantic, just some tropical waves. So be aware.